All right, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m., the 24th of October. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. We are flying through the month. Now, I've got some audio problems. I'm just going to change it quickly. Okay, there we go. Back in action. Now, let me organize the screen here. You can see me now. Sorry about that. I didn't connect to the correct microphone. For some reason, the one that I'm using here disconnects every day, so I have to reconnect it, and I didn't do it. But anyway, 24th of October, 7:35, looking at some of the main stories this evening that have featured in the press today in Spain. First story here, we'll have a look now. And Madrid President Ayuso, after the expansion of the investigation into her partner, has said that Spain is a police state. The president of the Community of Madrid, Isabel Díaz Ayuso, stated on Wednesday that Spain is a police state where there is institutional abuse, the judicial system does not act independently, and civil rights and liberties are restricted. This came just hours after it was revealed that the judge handling the case of her partner, Alberto González Amador, for the alleged commission of 2 tax fraud offences and 1 for forgery in commercial documents, has opened a new inquiry to investigate more possible crimes. During a strong speech at an event organised by El Confidencial, the Conservative leader made unprecedented claims, casting doubt on Spanish democracy, the independence of judges, the neutrality of institutions, and the role of Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez. She accused Sánchez of bringing to Spain the practices that have destroyed democracy in many Latin American countries, allegedly advised, she emphasised, without naming him, by former President or Prime Minister of Spain, José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero. So there we go. Ayuso bringing the Spanish state into question here by saying that it is a police state because of basically what's happening into this investigation or with this investigation into her boyfriend and his alleged, I should say, tax irregularities, or at least I think he hasn't been charged with anything yet, I don't think. But some serious accusations, some serious allegations there from Ms. Ayuso. No hold barred when it comes to criticising the current government and the way Spain is being run. And some could say, I'll say it again, some could say that she's shaping up for a crack at the leadership of the National PP Party. You didn't hear it here, but that is what some people are saying with strong comments like this and basically not listening to what the leader of her party is saying when it comes to being a little bit more discreet, let's say. But she's out there trying to capture attention, trying to get Spaniards thinking about what is happening with the current government, and of course all due to the fact that her boyfriend is under investigation, and she doesn't like it. Second piece of news here in another investigation involving the partner of a politician. The court rejects Begoña Gómez's lawsuit against Judge Peinado for malfeasance. The Superior Court of Justice of Madrid has dismissed the lawsuit filed by Begoña Gómez, wife of Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez, against the judge investigating her, Magistrate Juan Carlos Peinado, head of Madrid's Court of Instruction number 41, for an alleged offence of judicial malfeasance. This marks the third time such a lawsuit has been rejected. In the complaint, Gómez's defence argued that the judge had shared confidential procedural actions with the public prosecutor, which had been declared secret, and this had led to their publication by various media outlets. According to her, this action had severely harmed her, as secret information and actions had been disclosed while she remained unaware of the details of the investigation, leaving her defenseless. Despite the case being confidential, it was broadcast live by the media, said her lawyer, Antonio Camacho. So another partner in the spotlight with another alleged, corruption case, I suppose you could call it here. The Prime Minister Sanchez's wife under investigation, and they're, of course, trying to attack the judicial system as well. So the Spanish judicial system, if I can get that word out, under attack on all sides, or under attack by all sides of politics at the moment. Ayuso on one side attacking it, Gómez on the other side attacking it, Sánchez attacking it as well. Under attack, and all of these corruption cases, wowee, they just don't end. They just do not end. And another one, this one here, the judge asks the Supreme Court to indict Ábalos for his key role in the Coldo corruption case. Judge Ismael Moreno has requested the Supreme Court to investigate José Luis Ábalos for his key role in the Coldo corruption case. The magistrate has advanced the request from the Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, considering that there are well-founded and serious indications that the former Minister of Transport played an important role in the scheme. The head of the Central Court of Instruction, number 2, has attributed a clear and specific indictment to José Luis Ábalos based on a series of indications pointing to his alleged involvement in crimes such as membership in a criminal organization, influence peddling, and bribery. Due to Ábalos's parliamentary immunity, the judge believes it is impossible to continue the investigation without conducting inquiries that directly affect the lawmaker, and thus the case should now proceed in the second chamber of the Supreme Court. So let's put this into perspective. We've got a corruption case surrounding the Madrid president's boyfriend, or tax irregularities, let's say, but they're also insinuating that Ms. Ayuso is involved in this. We've got the Prime Minister's wife involved in an alleged corruption case, also influence peddling, or whatever you call it, trafficking. And the Coldo case, which stemmed from the COVID times, where the ministries were forking out money for medical equipment and all of these things like this. And of course, people were in the middle of those transactions, putting the money into their top pocket, of course. And Mr. Ábalos, former minister, Mr. Sanchez's number 2 man in the spotlight. And there we see indicted, what was it? Asking the Supreme Court to indict Mr. Ábalos for his key role in this case. So corruption, scandals, or alleged corruption scandals, I'll say, basically bringing Spain to its knees. But the average Spaniard just moves on because they've seen it all before. Some different news now, finally away from the corruption, and Renfe, Spain's rail operator, has once again outsourced ticket sales, and they are now available on BlaBlaCar's website starting this Wednesday. Renfe's medium, long distance and high-speed train tickets can now be purchased through BlaBlaCar's platform, the well-known car-sharing service, following an agreement by which the railway operator will pay a commission for each ticket sold through this channel. With this move, Renfe joins Ayuso, which also sells tickets via BlaBlaCar and integrates into another ticket search platform for various companies after previously outsourcing this service to the Trainline platform. For now, the agreement provides train passengers with a new online option for purchasing Renfe tickets, whose own website often receives frequent criticism from users. Criticism because it crashes more often than a drunk driver, basically, the Renfe website, and that is where the criticism comes from. So to deal with the issue, they're handing part of their ticket sales over to the new platform, BlaBlaCar. Well, not a new platform, but putting the Renfe tickets on there, I think, for the first time, joining the French company Ayuso. And I think BlaBlaCar, if you're not familiar with BlaBlaCar, it's one of these ride-sharing things that you go online, look for a destination that you're going to, look for someone who's also going there, and you share the car and the expenses on the way there or back from that destination, if you like. So Renfe deciding that its website not up to scratch and needs another channel to sell its tickets. One here from Dude, comment, Cruzcampo equals headache seguro. Sure, headache, says Dude Lebosque. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Cruz Campo because there are some Cruz Campo likers out there, people that like this beverage, this amber fluid, this amber nectar, as they call it. Myself, no, that is well known, but I'm not going to say anything. But Dude's words, a sure headache if you drink Cruz Campo. We'll leave it at that. Thanks, Dude. Another one here from K91PL. If your phones don't last long, maybe you should switch to an iPhone. I'm on year 4 with my current device. No issues. Yeah, thanks for that. Somebody mentioned the other day that maybe they had some phone issues. I can't remember exactly what the problem was, but somebody's saying that their phone is breaking down frequently. And this person here suggesting that you buy an iPhone. The only problem for many people with iPhones is that they are expensive. But if you get a decent service out of your iPhone, 4 years, 5 years, maybe 6 years, depending on the operating system and how often it upgrades, that's the secret to these phones. You find yourself with an operating system and a phone that are not compatible, believe it or not. It happens with Apple more often than not. Now they're probably up to iOS 16 or 17 or maybe even more. Not sure exactly what number they're up to. And of course, the previous models are excluded from these new operating systems. A lot of the services don't work, and you get to a stage where you have to change phones if you want to continue in the Apple infrastructure, which is the secret to the business. Once you get into the Apple world, you have trouble getting out of it because you find that your life depends on your Apple phone and all of the things that you can do with it, or at least that's what I've been told. So thanks for that, but the person that was having phone problems, maybe an Apple if you can afford it. Expensive they are. Joy, hi. I tried to get an advance fast train ticket of more than 2 months and had the same problems as Frank and was told that you can only book a month in advance. Thanks, Stuart. There we go. So maybe it is the case that Renfe doesn't allow you to buy tickets 2 or 3 months out, which was what Frank was asking the other day. Coming to Spain in February or January, late January, can't remember the exact dates, and was trying to get train tickets now but can't get them because the Renfe website is not giving service so far in advance. So Joy saying there that only a month you can get your Renfe tickets. So if you're planning to come to Spain next year, and you want to organize your trip, you want to organize your itinerary with Renfe, no, you're not going to be able if what Joy there says is true, and it very well could be. Another one here from Mogsa. Strangely enough, here in Andalusia during the pandemic, the masks and gloves used by the public were threatening to go to silly prices, but the governing bodies maintained a cap on the price of these items to keep them affordable. Thanks for that, Mogs. Yeah. We saw the other day that there are some irregularities with the contracts that were being handed out in the autonomous community of Andalusia during the COVID times. There have been irregularities in many places around Spain, and I'm sure the world, because all of the normal protocols went out the window. The government needed stuff quickly, or the governments here in Spain needed stuff quickly, and they were giving contracts out, what they call here a dedo. Basically, they were just handing them out to who could supply them the fastest without having to go through tenders and things like this, which are the normal protocols. And of course, people took advantage of this, and we saw the other day in Andalusia lots of irregular contracts that were handed out, and billions totaling, I think. This person pointing out that the prices were threatening to skyrocket. Well, no wonder, looking back now and seeing all of these people that were getting rich as a result, and the government stepped in and put a cap on prices, the central government saying that you couldn't pay more than this amount for an antigen test, you couldn't pay more than this amount for face masks, you couldn't pay more than this amount for certain things, all related to those times. But as we know, people did take advantage of that, and the central government needed to step in. But as we saw, it also had some irregularities at the time, thanks to Mr. Ábalos and Mr. Koldo's intervention in that moment, or alleged intervention in that moment. Thanks for that. One here from Kieran. Hola Stu, is it possible that you could do a small guide on renting in Spain for those who may not have the money to buy a property in Spain but would like to live in Spain? Great channel. Yeah, Kieran, thanks for the comment. I'll look into doing something like this, but basically trying to find a place to rent nowadays, according to all reports, is not easy. Not easy to find a decent place to rent for a decent price. Walking around central Madrid today, looking at some of the real estate offices, and a lot of properties over the €1,000 mark, I will say. I saw some for €1,300, two-bedroom apartments, so that's quite expensive. But I could look into doing that, Kieran. And you're right, there are people that do want to come here and live and perhaps don't have the cash to buy, would prefer to rent. And it's always an option, of course, to rent a house in a city here in Spain or town here in Spain. And I'm going to say straight off the bat that renting in a big city a lot harder than renting in a small city that doesn't have the same demand. But I think that's the same everywhere, right? It doesn't matter where you are now. Capital cities, major cities, very difficult rent crisis that they have, and smaller cities, of course, without the same demand, should be easier. So I might look into that. Thanks for the suggestion, Kieran. Another one here from Larry. Italy was a founding member of the EU, so not likely to leave. Yeah, probably not, Larry. Someone suggested the other day that Spain, Italy, Greece and Portugal leave the European Union. No mention of Ireland there. I remember back in the day, Ireland, Italy, Spain, Portugal and Greece were all more mentioned in the same sentence because they all had financial issues back in the day. Ireland has managed to turn it around. Some other countries not so. Portugal, they say the economy is going okay, but it's still problematic for a lot of people living there. Spain, the economy, according to statistics, is going great guns, but a lot of people I talk to are struggling at the moment with high cost of living, and it's not easy considering that salaries have stagnated for many, many people. So Italy, not going to leave the European Union anytime soon, and I don't think the other countries are either, even though some people in one of the former EU countries would like other people to join them, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Will countries leave the European Union, or will they stay? Let us know. Another one here, and the final one here, from Yadish. That's not an Egg Benedict. Thanks, Yadish. Many people have said that what I ate the other day for breakfast was not Eggs Benedict, even though on the menu that I ordered it from, it said Eggs Benedict. It was a Spanish version, or that bar's version, of Eggs Benedict. I liked the meal. I liked the breakfast. I thought it was a decent breakfast. Nothing wrong with it. Tasty. My taste buds were jumping. The coffee was nice too. So I'm not complaining. Was it an authentic Eggs Benedict? Probably not. It was an adaptation of an Eggs Benedict by that bar. A little bit ironic considering that a lot of people here don't like their traditional dishes, Spanish traditional dishes, to be modified in any way, shape or form. And if you want proof of that, talk to Jamie Oliver, who decided to put chorizo in a paella back in the day, and the Spanish came for him with a lot of abuse online. But nothing wrong with them doing their own versions of Eggs Benedict or an English breakfast. Not really authentic, but at the end of the day, who cares? The most important thing is that you either like or you don't like the meal, and you can share your opinions on that. But as I said the other day, that breakfast that I had, I liked it. And that was the most important thing. And for €6 or €6.20, which is what it cost me, I'm not complaining because I didn't have anything else to eat until maybe later that afternoon. So I enjoyed it. That's all that matters. Now, that's the end of the content section. I'm going to go into the chat section in just a moment. Before I do, the backdrop is going to change. This one was sent in by Jen, who's currently traveling around Spain. Originally from, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I think Jen is from Seattle, but currently in Spain. And she took this photo on her travels from Cáceres in Extremadura to Ávila, and it's a place in Salamanca. Now, I think it's called Puente del Congosto, which is a town. And as I said, it's in the province of Salamanca, and Jen thought this was a spectacular photo. I do too. Thanks, Jen, for sending it in. And if anyone else has a similar photo or a photo they would like to see on the backdrop, the email address is on the screen now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send your photos through to that email address. If they meet the requirements, size requirements, quality requirements, and things like that, they will get on the backdrop. Don't worry about that. Some of the problems that I have, apart from the ratio, let's say, landscape size pictures, sometimes people send me through pictures that are just too small. So I don't know what the story is with that. They send through thumbnail size pictures, very, very small. And when I blow them up to put on the back screen here, on the green screen, they're too grainy, out of focus, and they don't really look very good. But the quality of this photo here, decent amount of megapixels, decent size photo. So thanks, Jen, for sending that one through. I'll just put it on the screen again so you can get an idea of what this is. One of these old bridges there in the Salamanca province. Fantastic. Thanks, Jen, for that. People that haven't hit the like icon yet, we're currently at 77 likes, which is surprising because normally at this time we're only sitting around 42, 43 likes, but 77 currently. So we might get to the 100 mark today if you hit that like button now. Do us a favor, please. People that have supported the channel in recent times, can't tell you guys how much I appreciate the support. Super thanks, super chat here on the live streams. People that have bought me a coffee. Got 15 coffees bought for me the other day, so that'll keep me going for a while. Can't remember exactly who it was. I'll check, and just so I don't embarrass myself, I'll just check to see exactly who it was. But very, very generous by that person buying me those coffees the other day. Let me see if I can find it here quickly. No, Ed bought 3 coffees on October the 15th. What was the other one, if I can find it here? No, unfortunately I can't. Unfortunately I can't find the person who bought me 15 coffees. But you know who you are. And as I said, thank you very much for that. And that will keep me going for a while, those 15 coffees. Simon, here we go. Simon bought me 15 coffees. So thank you very much, Simon. Thank you very much, the other people as well. Harry bought me a coffee the other day. And Ed also bought me some coffees too. Thank you very much. Longer term supporters on Patreon, great support. Thank you very much for that too. And the YouTube channel members, currently sitting at 74 channel members. Almost a record, 74. And it inspires me to put out varied content, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stir up debate, as I said the other day, trying to get some comments. The amount of comments that I get on these food videos, fantastic. Lots of people criticizing my food choices. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, as I said, if I enjoy the food, that's all there is to it. I'm happy. But if other people want to criticize my food choices, fair play to you. Go ahead. That's what YouTube's all about. Social media is all about. Put content out and people come back with their opinions on it. Now, into the chat section I'm going to go. Let me see if I can get there quickly. 1 minute. 106 likes. Wow. We really smashed that like button today. What do we got going on? 108 now. Barbara, first person as always in the chat. It's incredible how Barbara is always first here. Coming in from the Playa Flamenca. 22 degrees there. The temperatures are dropping. Some rain yesterday. Pamela, hello. Thanks, Pamela. Good to see you. James and Kathy back in the chat today. Now back in a mildish Worcester in the UK. Had a fantastic few weeks in Cabo Roche, followed by a few days in Benicaló and a day out in Peñíscola en route to the ferry. Thanks for that, James. I was recently in that area too, Castellón. Surprised we didn't bump into each other. What else? Erica's in the chat too. Terrassa is now very grey and hopefully it will rain. Always a lot of hopes in Terrassa for rain, but never seem to get much. Best wishes for a super weekend. Thanks for that. High Flyer John, valued member in the chat section here too. Hoping all is well. Thanks, John. Antonio Mark is in the chat as well, coming in from sunny Texas. This year we're excited to celebrate our first Christmas in our cozy flat in Gijón. In Asturias, I'm searching for the perfect real Christmas tree. Any tips on where to buy one or delivery service? Unfortunately, no, Antonio, I can't help you out there with your Christmas tree. But what I suggest you do is if you get to Gijón a few days before Christmas, look around. I'm sure you'll find a good Christmas tree. And if all else fails, you'll be able to get one at El Corte Inglés, probably. But it'll be plastic, but what can you do? If you can't get an authentic one, you should be able to up in the north of the country. Plenty of trees, but I don't know whether everyone has that tradition or not, to be honest. They could do. Amanda coming in from Shropshire in the UK. Not too cold. Good to see. Good to see. Richard coming in also from the United Kingdom, North Yorkshire. It's unusually mild for the end of October, around 15 degrees. Well, enjoy it, Richard, because I reckon it'll be changing soon. Amanda also here replying to a few people. Barbara saying Peñíscola is lovely. Been there a few times. Thanks, Barbara, for that. Merck Rover, the UK would be better if our police were more like the Spanish force. There we go. Someone in favour of the stronger policing. I think what Ayuso was going on about was more the control of the state and all of these investigations that are going on for various activities. Another high-profile politician resigned today. Some allegations have been come to light, let's say. Anonymous allegations that he was involved in some type of violence against women, maybe. I think that's what they're alleging. Not sure exactly, but he's resigned. Somebody from the Sumar party. So, lots of goings on in Spanish politics currently. Ayuso tiene toda la razón, says Hakan. There we go. So, agreeing with Ayuso, Hakan. Thanks for that. Johnny coming in here too. Thursday morning there and starting the second cup of coffee. Hello all. Good to see you, Johnny. What else we going on here? Philip coming in too. G'day mates, and Ola from Jonesboro in the United States. Tennessee is that. Sunny skies, 20 degrees Celsius. Turned 50 today. Saludos. Happy birthday, Philip. Feliz cumpleaños, as they say here, on your 50th milestone birthday. Have a good one and enjoy your day. Dave, hola, Stu y todos. Spanish politics, me gusta la fruta. Absolutely. Me gusta la fruta. That was one of Ms. Ayuso's other classic lines that she's come up with this year. Because apparently what happened was she called someone a son of a bee. And in Spanish, son of a bee is hijo de... You can know what I'm trying to say. But she tried to make people think that she didn't say hijo de... She said, me gusta la fruta, which her mouth moving more or less makes the same movement. Another one of Ayuso's classics this year. And she really comes out with some pearlers, does Ms. Ayuso. Some absolute pearlers. And it's ironic that she criticizes the Latin American leaders when she's sort of going down the same path, some could say. But again, that's a conversation topic for another day. What do we got here? Brockness. What's that? A couple of beers? Thanks, Brockness, for that. The couple of beers emoji. Gigi in the chat too. Thanks, Gigi, for watching this evening from Surprise, Arizona. Gigi will be back in Spain next year for the Camino de Santiago, as usual. Joe has used BlaBlaCar in the past. Great experience. I've only heard good things about it. I haven't heard too many bad stories. Of course, when you hop into a car with strangers, you never know what's going to happen. But I think in general, BlaBlaCar is a fairly reliable service. What else? Steph coming in a day before our election. Where's the election, Steph? Where is it? Let us know. Fluttergirl, what a name. BlaBlaCar, yes. But popular service, one of these startups, I think goes back to maybe 15, 20 years ago. It burst onto the Spanish scene. It was very, very popular at the time because Spain was entrenched in a deep economic crisis. A lot of people didn't have any cash in their pockets and were looking for ways to travel. The other ways were too expensive. Trains, expensive. Buses, although not expensive. Blah, blah, car filled the gap in the market. People could travel cheaply. Students mainly back in the day, but I think more and more people use it nowadays. What else? Let's have a look here. Jorge saying that Spain is ruled by a criminal gang. There we go. His words, not mine. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here. The Renfe website is no good, says Dave. Dave's obviously had experience with it. Terrible website. I know somebody that came to Spain to work in IT for a year back in the day. And I think one of the jobs was to go and try and fix the Renfe website. But from what I was told, no es un buen sistema. No es un buen sistema, no. What else we got going on here? Andrew, had my last iPhone for 6 years with no problems, and I've had my current one for 4. So far, no problems. There we go with the iPhone. I must admit, the iPhones that I have had have been pretty reliable compared to the other rubbish phones that I've had. I had a Spanish company phone called BQ for a couple of years, and I'm going to say I haven't had a worse phone ever. And the iPhone, for what I need it for, perfect. Good quality photos, good quality video, the audio works okay, everything downloads well, telephone calls work, syncs well with other Apple products, of course, which is what it's supposed to do. So once you get into that Apple infrastructure, as I said, it's difficult to get out because the products work very well together. El Conquistador coming in from the northeast of Florida, where temperatures are finally starting to become more comfortable. Yes, very hot and humid, I imagine. Cooling down a bit, hopefully, with the winter months. Although in Florida, I don't know what type of a winter you would get. Helena coming in. I bought my Apple phone refurbished, pre-owned for much cheaper, and I've used it for the same phone for 3 years, no problems. That's an option, getting a refurbished phone, pre-owned. Jimmy's saying that COVID contracts in the UK also were riddled with corruption. I think in most countries, as governments were desperate to try to deal with that health crisis, right? Dave also saying that Ayuso will most likely be the next leader of the country. Well, yeah, I'm sure that she sees herself as the a future leader of Spain. I'm sure. Tony's had a Xiaomi Note phone for the last 7 years, and the cost is 50% of a new iPhone. There we go. It's another option. But of course, you're in the Google operating system, is it, with the Xiaomi? I think so. Tamara, I don't think Portugal will leave the EU with all the money pouring into repair and build roads and hospitals. That's the issue, isn't it? Once you get into the European Union, all of that money comes flooding in. Difficult to get out. Dallas, have we any news about getting the 90-day rule removed or extended? Great show. No, Dallas, no news on that. I might put a video out saying that, and it'll go viral, that video, because so many people are interested in that topic, but I don't think there's any changes to that rule yet, or at least I haven't heard anything. And honestly speaking, I don't know if there ever will be, no matter how much people say that they would like it to happen. Charlie the Chaste, I can see countries leaving the EU if the money dries up and there are integration problems from migration. Well, that's the big issue at the moment, isn't it, that the politicians are trying to deal with. The European leader, Ms. von der Leyen, says that she wants to follow Meloni's path and try and get some type of external immigration processing centre. I think they were talking about Africa or somewhere. Meloni, of course, is trying it out in Albania, is it? So we'll see if that's successful. She has her critics. Mr. Sánchez is one of those critics. He prefers to do it another way, but it is the big issue that European countries are grappling with at the moment. Bob, I would ask that everybody watching this program give Stu his likes. 147 watching, 57. We're now at 130, Bob, so the ratio has changed, but thanks for your input there. Always appreciated, Bob, valued member, of course. Joe, that's a beautiful pick. Thanks. We'll pass that news on to Jen when she gets back to her US location and starts watching again. Andrew, I went over that bridge once with my dear old dad. Wonderful memories. Thanks, Andrew, for that. Yeah. It looks like a nice place in the Salamanca province, as we can see. Martin also saying smash the like button. Andrew, super chat, £10. Great work as always. Love the food videos. Have a drink on me. Thank you very much, Andrew. That would buy me 2 breakfasts or one. Not even a menu nowadays. So the menu the other day was $11.50. So, actually £10 probably is close to $11.50, is it, with the current exchange rate? Not sure exactly, but it could be. Philip saying that Stuart is the number one YouTuber doing Spanish news. Thanks, Philip, for that. Don't know how many other people are doing Spanish news. I know some people send out newsletters with Spanish news, but not necessarily doing videos on a regular basis. Someone else is doing some news videos as well, but I don't know what type of news is being put out, or if it is indeed any Spanish news at all. What else we got going on? Let's have a look here. What else we got going on here? Let's see if I can find something here quickly. A bit of internal chat going on. Antonio saying that Renfe's webpage used to be really good, but in June 2018, everything changed. What happened on that in that month, Antonio? What happened? Did the system get too small for the demand? That's a serious problem that websites have, and I'm always surprised that a company like Renfe, which obviously has resources, and obviously you can't compare it to some of these, modern websites, but look at YouTube, for example, where I'm putting this video out. YouTube gets literally millions and millions and millions of hours of video uploaded every day. Does it crash? Hardly ever, if ever at all. Renfe, with an extra demand because they have a sale, bang, down goes the website. So whoever set that website up, I would be trying to get the money back off them, basically, if it was an IT company, because they didn't do a very good job with not much forward thinking. What else? Andres saying here that with Venezuela demanding reparaciones from Spain, the Spanish banks, corporations and Spanish citizens should be preparing to escape before their assets are seized. Yes, Andres, there we go. Venezuela. Touchy subject. I think I'll avoid it. Andres also saying I was informed on the need better than many locals while living in Bilbao. Not sure. Is that Venezuela related, Andres? Not sure. Antonio saying that the government changed. Everything changed with all due respect. Okay, so referring to that election when Mr. Sánchez came to power with the, what was it called back in the day? I think it was a motion of no confidence. I think it's what we call it in English. He managed to get people on his side and oust Mr. Rajoy, who was not very popular, let's be honest. Sean the Prawn, hi from Dublin. How often do I get back to Australia? I get homesick for Brisbane during the winter, but flights are crazy expensive. Yeah, not as often as I would like. Sean, if I could go back every year, I would. But what you mentioned here, the price of those flights, very, very expensive. And the older I get, the less I feel like hopping on a plane for 24 hours plus, sitting in economy. If I could do it in business, maybe, but I don't have the pelas or the moolah or the dosh or the dough to go up to that part of the plane. If I could, I would, but I can't. So 24 hours in economy, no es bueno, as somebody said before. So I'll be here. But I understand, Sean, that when Dublin starts to get cold and you're thinking of sunny Brisbane, let's be honest, Brisbane has decent weather. Maybe a bit humid for my liking. Get a bit sweaty in old Brisbane town. Perth doesn't get the humidity that Brisbane gets, but I can understand that you do get homesick during those winter months. Andre's saying news, so whatever that was referring to. Informed on the news better than many locals when living in Bilbao. Well, I think, Andres, that a lot of people just switch off. I've spoken to people over the last 6 months or so that just don't read the news anymore because it's all bad news. And let's be honest, it is. On one page, you've got a war going on. On another page, there's another war going on. On another page, there's another war going on. Another page, you've got the US elections. Another page, you've got what's happening here in Spain, corruption case after corruption case after corruption case. So people just switch off, and I can understand that they do. Joe's saying that maybe if we buy Stu 8,000 coffees, he can get a ticket in business class. Yeah, that'd be great if I could get 8,000 coffees and get a business class ticket. You can sometimes get a cheap ticket. I remember many years ago, I think it was Qatar when they first started flying to Australia, they had some cheap business tickets. In fact, I think I picked up a business class seat for 2,000 euros, which was very, very cheap. We're talking maybe 2011, 2012, considering that economy was 1,500, 1,500 euros for economy. So I snapped that up. And unfortunately, I've never seen those prices again. But business is a luxury. That is true. And I'll treasure that memory of flying business for the rest of my life. Rosie coming in here. Did you hear self-employed people in Spain may need to pay back the COVID furlough money they received? Wondering what your thoughts are. Well, I haven't heard anything about that, Rosie, but if that is the case, that would be an absolute disgrace. But I imagine the reason is because people rorted the system. I imagine that is why they're saying that you have to pay the money back. But if I find out, if my accountant says anything to me, I might not even be able to fly economy next time. Although I didn't get very much money, I don't think, during those COVID times. Maybe. In fact, I don't think I got any government handouts at all. I wasn't one of these people that was sticking my hand out asking for money because what was I doing back in the day? I think I had some classes on back in the day. I was putting these videos out fairly regularly. So there was some income coming in. So I wasn't standing in line with my handout asking for money, but I can understand that many people were. Sean has never flown business class, so part of the proletariat. A lucky man. Well, it was only that one time, Sean, and because the price, I think you'll understand that 2,000 euros to fly business to Australia was a bargain, and I'll never see that again. But unfortunately, that was the case. And I think it was because, as I said, that Qatar had just begun flying to Australia. Now I'm going to wrap it up. That is it. TOL is in the chat. Just come in. Looking into going Madrid, LAX. Australia may be cheaper. Yeah, well, if you go via Los Angeles, if you're saying there, could be okay if you live on the east coast of Australia. If you live on the west coast like me, no. The easiest way to get there is via Asia somewhere. Now I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back again on Sunday, no, because I'll be traveling, but I'll be back again next Tuesday. I'll have some content coming out over those days, so don't worry about that. Hope to see you then. Have a great weekend or a great start to the weekend tomorrow. Hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, bye-bye.